got next to him. Want to see how he read? What the?
The Xbox is the most electrifying system.
The Xbox was a beast of a console. Released in November of 2001, this console was thought to be another whatever console like the Atari Jaguar, another console released by Americans, but it shattered everyone's expectations by paving the way for legendary games such as the Call of Duty franchise and Medal of Honor and Halo. This list is my top 10 favorite Xbox games that have come and gone through the console's lifespan. Now be warned, some of these games are M-rated games, so they might depict some gore and other things. Also, this is a personal opinion, so these games are what I thought was a lot of fun, or I just had more time engrossed into them story-wise or gameplay mode-wise. So, fuck it, you should already know by now. Let's get started.
Awesome. The graphics are unbelievable. They're really sharp, and the game control is pretty cool. The handling is really nice.
It's awesome so far. The controller takes like the only controller I've ever touched that actually like molds to your hand. Yeah, awesome. It's pretty cool, man. So we'll see.
I missed all my classes today for Xbox.
The Suffering was a great game. When I first got it, I focused on the story mostly. You're a man named Torque, accused of murdering your wife and 2 children, awaiting your death in Abbott State Penitentiary. He appears to have blacked out for the time of the murders and can't remember anything, although he puts bits and pieces together by reading notes and looking at personal items he has with him, like photos, notes of his wife. By the way, he could telepathically talk to her, and his other evil personality. Creepy. He has certain points in the story where he has visions of his family, whether alive, cursing him out for murdering him. The story is interesting enough so that you won't get bored easily, and the atmosphere is great as well, being set in a prison with monsters and disfigured men. But what really got me interested was the monster transformation, the characters, and the choices. See, this game is a choice game, meaning you have to choose whether to be good or evil. In one instance, you have to help this prison guard escape so he can see his wife on the other side of Abbott State. You can either A, save him, and then he meets his wife. That'll give you good karma. B, save him, but he dies fighting the monsters on his way there. His wife will believe that he was with you and leave. That'll give you neutral karma. And C, kill him and leave to the boat where he said he would take you to. That'll give you bad karma. So in a sense, this game's good, bad, and neutral aspect is a smaller Knights of the Old Republic moment than anything. The characters are also great and varied. You have mental patients, to other demons that once roamed the penitentiary, to actual ghosts.
So we'll see.
I missed all my classes today for Xbox.
When you got, and that's if you got, an Xbox in 2001, you had 2 games in the bundle with the console. Mine were Shrek and the number 9 on this list.
2002.
NFL Fever 2002. What's not to like about it? The gameplay was fast and hectic, reminiscent of NFL Blitz 2000. The players were detailed and nice to look at, and the linebackers ran like running backs. The game was intense and fun to play against other people. The unlockable teams were funny too. Who in the hell would unlock a team named the Cows though? Seriously? Like, the fuck? But the hands down 2 best teams to play as were the Rams because of Marshall Faulk and Torrey Holt, and the Wildcats because of the combo and wide receiver combo I could always do with them. The game, as stupid as many of you think it looks on this list, was actually fun as hell, and if you never had the chance to play it, I'm very sorry. It easily beats Madden games for me personally, though the AI of the enemy team needed a little tweaking.
Vic keeps the ball. He had an opening and then ran for a while. He picked up 22 yards.
We'll see.
I missed all my classes today for Xbox.
2 games share the number 8 spot, both by the great game developers at Oddworld Inhabitants. First is Munch's Odyssey. At first, I thought the game looked decent enough, with great CGI cutscenes and gross humor at the beginning. But then I would discover that the game goes far beyond that. Your main protagonist this time around is Munch, a gabbit who, as he says, is the last of his kind. He's just swimming along, minding his own business, when he gets trapped by an animal trap, by the Gluckons.
It wasn't a gabbit. It wasn't a gabbit at all.
Unfortunately for Munch, his lungs are prized possessions for the Gluckons, as they smoke continuously and need their lungs replaced because of it. Also, their eggs are delicacies that, parody and caviar, are called gabiar. So in a sense, the Gluckons basically feed off of their entire existence, which is kinda sad. He is then captured and is on the verge of being dissected when one of the two Vikers working on him install a sonar device on Munch's head, supposedly saving them more effort, as Munch can capture animals and save them money. Thankfully, he finds out that his sonar can fire electricity, effectively escaping. Then it cuts to the almighty Raisin talking to Abe, the protagonist from Abe's Odyssey and Exodus, to save Munch and both their kind from extinction. The gameplay is challenging, the puzzles are fun, and for once, my mom actually got into playing video games again with this title. Now for the second game, Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath. Oh man, I was instantly reminded of old Clint Eastwood movies playing this game. The main character, Stranger, is cool, calm, and cunning. His story is that he wants money for a secret operation, not known by the player until the third act. His job for collecting money? Bounty hunting. The bounty hunting in the game is easily the selling point for this game. If not for this, the story would have lost some steam. The bounties are funny, and thankfully each has a personality, but each are brash and crude. They seem like the stereotypical bounty heads you'd see in Western movies. The character of Stranger is also intriguing, with him being quiet and always talking to himself. Also, he has the ability to heal himself for a bit of health, a must if you want to survive some of the bounty strongholds. And I shouldn't forget this, the ammo. What's unique and strangely awesome is that you can collect ammo from the surrounding animals. Using your main attack weapon, the Zapfly, which never runs out of ammo but takes a while to charge, you can zap any of the surrounding animals and pick them up to use as weapons or bait. And this is where things get awesomer. Using the Chipmunk, a squirrel who talks shit to the players and the enemies, you could lure any opposing enemies to an open field of land away from their other comrades, and while he's there stomping out the Chipmunk, you could use your Bolamite to net him alive, and it'll be worth more money. That's what's great about this game. It gives you so many choices on how you can attack an enemy or boss. You can attack straight on, or go stealthy and sneak attack the enemy or the boss. Although that never really works as well, to be honest, for the bosses. These two outstanding games are without a doubt my favorite Oddworld games of all time. By the way, what happened to games having the demos built into the disc? Small gripe, but I mean, that's how I used to find out about games. I found out about Fusion Frenzy, Cold War, and Brothers in Arms because of those, and it was badass. Not to mention the game trailers.
Bad at all. But are you ready to take the next step? In the full version of Halo, you'll find additional vehicles like tanks, plasma turrets, and aircraft. Power.
I missed all my classes today for Xbox.
This was, at least for me, the best third-person shooter on the Xbox for a while. The game is a solid third-person shooter, I think, now that I've played it again recently. The story is great as well. The enemies reminded me of Earth Defense Force because of the big-ass insects running around. You have two protagonists to control, Kelly and Saburota, a recommended player for advanced players. No shit. The story is that the British Empire takes control of the Earth and basically every other little world surrounding it, all powered by Halley's Comet. As weird as that sounds, it gets a little weirder. A doctor named Dr. Hebel discovers scientific breakthroughs and actually gets referred to as a god and actually overthrows Queen Victoria. How? I just don't know. You're in Team Dolphin, the most manly name for an elite military force, but then again, they are protecting a whole colony. Funny though is that Kelly is actually the daughter of Dr. Hebel, while Saburota actually helped the British against his own countrymen in Japan. What an asshole. This game was actually made for the Dreamcast, but it was also made for the Xbox, minus the light gun feature and the old school controls. The game is a great Xbox game, but it's overshadowed by Halo and other big titles, which kinda left it by itself in another corner. Which is sad because the soundtrack on this game is quite honestly one of the best Xbox soundtracks I've ever heard. I mean, just listen to Killing Floor. This honestly is one of the best songs that was played in the entire game. I listened to it over and over again, and I actually have it on my phone. It's really that great.
We'll see. Like, I missed all my classes today for Xbox.
Come on, a top 10 Xbox games list without Prince of Persia is just crazy. Great platforming, very reminiscent of the old version. Awesome music, courtesy of Stuart Chatwood, and the action and story was top notch. What I actually liked about this game was the combat. It felt fresh, like I never once got bored during the combat, especially since you could jump off walls to execute some nice kills. The same could be said about the story. A pampered prince, wanting to show that he could withstand the tests of battle, travels into a vault and sees the sands of time in an hourglass, and also seizes the dagger of time in order to present it to his father as a gift. Of course, the man closest to his father, the Jafar-looking fuck, tricks the prince into opening the sands of time, and all hell basically sets loose. It is here that the most interesting aspect of the game is introduced, the time controlling. Ever wanted to try again after messing up a jump or not avoiding an instant death hazard? With the dagger you can slow down time, fast forward, and even reverse time. This was one of the most thrilling things ever in a video game. The platforming is now even more forgivable. Well, granted, you'll need sand to perform these time-bending tricks. What, you thought the game was just gonna let you have an infinite amount of time-bending juice? You're a fool.
Like, I missed all my classes today for Xbox.
Much in the same vein as Power Stone or Mario Party was, this party game was instantly a great game with family. It reminded me a lot like Mario Party, minus the board. And the characters and locations were some of the most colorful and zany as hell that I've ever seen. The game takes place in 6 different areas: the Coliseum, downtown, the Outlands, military base, power station, and waterfront, each with their own mini-games. The best areas were the Coliseum, power station, downtown, and waterfront, in my opinion. Coliseum for the rollerball and ice car minigames that were the most fun. Downtown mostly for the music games, similar to Tap Tap Revolution but with buttons. The power station for the bug minigames because you could squish them and defend your food. Yeah. And the waterfront for the orb minigames. Then after each third minigame you play, you go into Fusion Frenzy. And this is actually the funnest and most intense game type of this game. Beforehand, you can actually help out your total score by adding orbs you acquired by winning the games beforehand. Then when it starts, it's an all-out race to the orbs of your matching color. Sometimes there will be white orbs and even bigger white orbs that are for every player to grab. But be warned, once this orb rears its ugly head, your friends or the computer will make a mad dash for these. And this is where the Power Stone thing comes in. You see, you could defend yourself or be a dick and start beating the shit out of your friend. Not to mention, if you knock the orb out of their grip, it can be gained as yours. For being one of the original launch titles for the Xbox, this game was actually a lot of fun. Considering that before it, the Mario Party franchise was the biggest party game franchise ever, this title had a great run. It even spawned a sequel, but yeah, don't touch that.
Like, I missed all my classes today for Xbox.
The Xbox had many great games: Brothers in Arms franchise, Halo, Burnout, Far Cry. And at the other end of the spectrum, we have Jet Set Radio Future. A huge difference from the great Dreamcast version, Jet Set stars the GG Gang and their war against all other rival tagging gangs and disobeying authority in general. And that's what I kind of liked about this game. Me being a kid growing up, I never really paid attention in school and elementary, and I never really paid attention in middle school or high school either, so I really identified with this game. The original reason this game caught my attention for the Dreamcast was its cel-shaded look. When I bought it, I saw the front of the game case saying This game looks weird. The graphics look really crazy. Well, little did I know this game would be one of those games I love for the rest of my gaming years. Aside from the story and characters, the music, my god. The music was unlike anything I ever heard from a video game soundtrack. If you ever played Tony Hawk games like me, the music will get you moving and get you pumped for each challenge that's coming up ahead. What's total bullshit is that this game, for being called great and challenging, never became a classic because of reviews and sales not being high enough. And speaking of reviewers, OXM UK knew what they were talking about when they awarded this game the award for most unfairly ignored game of 2002. They were so right for saying that. It may not have reached classic status like Halo or Midnight Club, but to me and many other gamers out there, it'll always be classic.
My heart ain't pounded like this since my first date. I was so nervous, know what I'm saying? I forgot to wear my underwear, baby.
We'll see. Like, I missed all my classes today for Xbox.
Like I previously stated, Jet Set was unfairly unrecognized for some reason. But this game should have been on a fucking pedestal for its design, clever humor, and memorable characters. Tim Schafer, you magnificent bastard, I could just kiss you for this game. Not only did this game make me laugh with its great humor, it also made me feel like I was a part of Whispering Rock. The story is the tale of Rasputin, or Raz for short, when he runs away from his family's circus to hone his psychokinetic abilities at Whispering Rock, a camp for psychics. The best thing about this game is, besides the humor, the clever writing and levels. The levels are inside the person's mind. Depending on their mental state, like Gloria von Guten, they can either be fun, Milia Vodeos for example, or totally off the wall like Boyd Cooper's. Eventually you find out that the head of the camp, Coach Oleander, has harvested the brains of the campers and put them all in tanks to conquer the world. The most interesting thing besides this next part I'm going to talk to you about is Raz can't swim. Well, he can swim, but he can't be in any form of water, no matter how small or how big the body of water is.
My family has a problem with water. It's a bunch of hooey anyway. Some old gypsy curse about how we're all supposed to die in water.
And the water takes form of a menacing hand of water, called the Hand of Galachoko, or Galacho, I don't fucking know. The hand was actually the scariest thing. Linda's eyes in the dark in that forest being close second. Anyways, back to the thing I wanted to talk to you about. My favorite level in the entire game, Boyd's Mind. The Milkman Conspiracy is the single greatest level ever conceived by a human mind. Boyd is an off-the-hinge character, always muttering weird stuff and talking about the Milkman. When you invade his mind, you find these CIA-like operatives probing every inch of his mind looking for the Milkman. These CIA operatives have the single greatest dialogue scenes beside Raz. The random quotes they say are awesome.
I do not know whether to remarry or to remain loyal to my loved one. I wished my loved one had remembered to indicate me as the beneficiary of his 401k plan. When my husband drinks excessively, I may threaten him with this rolling pin, though we still love each other very much.
And considering that they stay in character, it's funny as all hell. My favorite being the plumber spies.
Hello, sewer worker. I think I met you at the union meeting. The sewer carries human waste. There are no documented cases of alligators found alive in sewers.
The road crew spies.
I am on the road crew. This is my stop sign.
Yes, we are all on the road crew. Our backs are killing us. My red sign helps me work on the road. I cannot wait until the next payday.
And the assassin spies.
They got Freddy. Poor Freddy. He was such a good secret agent. I mean, assassin. Adjustments need to be made when firing in the wind. I am found on rooftops, in clock towers, and book depositories.
It's fake. I'm worried the other assassins are gonna make fun of me.
Shh, don't broadcast that fact. They look real.
Before I start rambling about how great this game is for the levels alone, let's wrap this up. Oh, by the way, before I forget, did you know that Stephen Blum does the voices for each and every CIA operatives? Spike Spiegel, Tank Dempsey does the voice for the CIA operatives. Fucking wow. You finally make it to the last boss, which turns out to be a nasty reimagining of your father, or what Raz thinks of him. This level has some great platforming and the music is great as well. The Meat Circus is honestly one of the craziest levels besides Boyd's Mind. Trust me on this one. When you beat the game, Lily finally professes her feelings for you and it ends. At least I hope it doesn't. Hey Tim, buddy, make a fucking sequel to this game already. You haven't even touched the surface of the great things you could do with this game. Imagine it. Later on, it's Lily and Raz's kid, and he meets up with Linda and sees Coach Oleander again. Sasha 9, Milia. Oh God, I better stop.
I've taught you everything I can, son. Now, you go show them. Show them all.
Let's go.
I missed all my classes today for Xbox.
The single greatest role-playing game on the Xbox. No question. The game picks up 5 years after your original adventure began. The Sith wiped out almost every single Jedi in the galaxy. Except you. After you awake, you find out you were exiled out of the Jedi Academy for reasons you yet to find the answers to. Through each planet you visit, you gain allies that can potentially turn good or evil, depending on your choices, or the choices they make themselves. The dialogue and character building is the core aspect of this game, and it also gives you a choice, a great choice to make. Would you rather be the all-powerful peace-bringing Jedi, or the all-hell-breaks-loose Sith, with powers that will mess up enemies as well as friendly NPCs? Anyways, down the line you find out about this Dark Revan character, and that he or she has many teachers and will soon become an all-powerful Sith. Of course, spoiler for a 9-year-old game, you were Revan. Honestly, if the game didn't let me become a Jedi or Sith, oops, hold on. There we go. Sith. I honestly wouldn't care. I would have become a Wookiee or something. Those guys are fucking awesome. Shit. Now I barely remembered something. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, the number 2 spot is a tie between this and Star Wars Republic Commando. Jesus, man, I actually thought this game was better than Halo for a while. For a game to do that, it takes some serious balls. The game had some upgrades that Halo didn't. Firstly, of course, was the ragdoll physics. They were fucking awesome as hell. Trust me, when you melee a dead body for the longest amount of time, you'll know what I mean. Second, squad control. Me, I've always had a thing for squad controls, like things like Brothers in Arms, you know, that kind of deal. So to control this squad's actions, defending, taking cover fire and all that, it's fucking awesome. And it doesn't hurt that each character has a definable characteristic and personality. Okay, first we have is RC1162, otherwise known as Scorch. He's the demolitions expert and the funny man of the group. Of course, every group has to have a funny man. Every time things go haywire or just getting briefed, he's always cracking jokes. His color is orange with a demo pack in his back. Demolition. The next group member is RC1207. Sev, yeah. The badass sniper and commando that everybody wants to be. He has a no-nonsense attitude, and whenever he isn't killing, he wants to. His color is red with a bloody handprint on his visor. By the way, he's easily one of my favorite of the group, besides Scorch. And lastly, we have RC1140. Fixer, the tech savvy of the four. The only thing that keeps him happy is calibrating weapons or fixing gear. He's usually more quiet than the others and is more laid back of the four, meaning he doesn't really like to speak, and when he does, it's usually about the group or the situation at hand. His color is my favorite, green. And then there's you, boss as you're known. Funny thing is, you have Jango Fett's accent, but it's not only fitting, it's also provided by the actor who made Jango Fett's voice. No shit. The story takes you through the many adventures of Delta Squad as you fight, demolish, and stab everything that's in it. The only thing bad about this game is the campaign is kind of short, and the ending is a cliffhanger that is going nowhere. They had planned a sequel, but got as far as concept art and just dropped it completely. Kind of a shame. Not only did this game end on a cliffhanger with Sev wounded on the airship blaster, but the game had so much left to discover and to explore. It would be awesome to see the squad go through Order 66, and instead of killing the Jedi, join up with them. That would be awesome. Or maybe later down the line, instead of joining the clones' Jedi genocide, follow their own path and choose to assassinate the Chancellor or Darth Vader. I don't know, man. I really wish they would have continued the story. LucasArts, please do us all a favor and make a sequel to this great game, please. Before we head into number 1, let's recap. Number 10, The Suffering. Number 9, NFL Fever 2002. Number 8, Munch's Odyssey and Stranger's Wrath. Number 7, Gun Valkyrie. Number 6, Prince of Persia. Number 5, Fusion Frenzy. Number 4, Jet Set Radio Future. I forgot to say that. Number 3, Psychonauts. Number 2, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Star Wars Republic Commando. And now, look, okay, if you didn't see this fucking coming to number 1, then you're just fucking stupid. An obvious number 1, Halo made the Xbox. Not only that, but this franchise has become a multi-billion-dollar supergiant in the video game world. I really can't say anything that hasn't already been said. Rooster Teeth got famous because of Halo, and they're still growing stronger each day. Machinima would not be as strong without Halo. And Martin O'Donnell, one of the greatest video game composers to ever grace the video game world, would never be known without this game. I honestly can't think of anything else to say about it. Let's see. The music. The single most famous video game soundtrack since Mario's famous compositions. Martin O'Donnell and Michael Salvatore totally knocked it out of the ballpark with this soundtrack. The main theme is instantly recognizable, from the rising vocals to the music reaching its climactic rise and fall. The last theme playing while racing off the ring road is a heart-pounding, adrenaline-raising song. And Under the Cover of Night, the song that plays during the Truth and Reconciliation, is fucking beautiful. It's filled with so much beauty and silent chaos that I can't help but feel a chill run up my spine every time I hear it. What else? Oh, the story. I'm really just gonna give you the gist of the story. Master Chief is awakened from cryosleep when the Covenant, an alien race, attacks the Pillar of Autumn. You race to escape before the spacecraft goes down. Afterwards, you find out the Covenant somehow released a parasitic being called the Flood. You search for Captain Keyes and find out that he was abducted by the Flood, after you found Mendoza's helmet inside a building where the Flood was kept. You then find out that the Flood have overtaken the Captain, and he is now one of them. You then get his neural implants to go to the Pillar of Autumn's crash site to overload the reactor and blow Halo to shit. The campaign was the greatest thing anyone had ever played on the Xbox, and my personal favorite levels are the first level because it sets the mood and the characters for the rest of the game, the Truth and Reconciliation for the rescue of Captain Keyes and the music and atmosphere, Assault on the control room because snow levels I love in any game, and assassinating the sleeping grunts was satisfying as fuck. 343 Guilty Sparks because this level had the greatest horror atmosphere in any game I had ever played, and I hadn't even seen that done in a level that good since We Don't Go to Ravenholm from Half-Life 2. And the Maw for finishing the story on an epic note and giving us a reason to call Master Chief one of the greatest characters in any video game ever. This game is still one of the highest rated video games ever, and the fact that this game spawned a book series, some movies, and merchandise that even made it more successful is a great triumph for any video game to achieve, and Halo did that in spades. So thanks for viewing, and what top 10 do you think I should make next? I would really like to know. Thanks for viewing, and here are the runner-ups and what numbers